Hi everybody, it's Jenn from McCreath again. It is Tuesday, September 5th, 2017. Video number 2 of my municipal political talks today. Talk about something really exciting, the provincial government's Highway Traffic Act. One thing I've heard a lot of over the past 4 years is that we got to do something about the traffic problems in the city of St. John's. And I've seen that matter brought up to a lot of politicians at the municipal and provincial level. And what do? They say, no, that's your job. No, that's your job. No, that's your authority. No, that's your authority. Well, let's take a look. We do know that the province created an act called the City of St. John's Act. Well, the province basically has mandated what the city can do. They also have something known as the Highway Traffic Act, which is a provincial regulation. However, if you closely look at section 189, which I'm going to now do, you will see that they have notated certain powers and authorities be granted to municipalities for the purpose of setting up their own highway and traffic regulations. Here we go. The Minister of Works, Services and Transportation may by order delegate to the Council of a Municipality power to make regulations which shall not conflict with this act. Section 2. A council may make different regulations under that subsection in respect of different classes or descriptions of vehicle or traffic in respect to the same classes or description, on and on and on and on. A council which makes regulations, Part 4, in respect to a matter referred to in paragraphs 1A to N, may appoint one or more peace officers to enforce the regulations. 5. A peace officer appointed under the subsection 4 has and may exercise within the limits of the municipality under the control and management of the council and the powers of a peace officer in connection with the enforcement of the regulations made by council under the subsection 1. Okay, let's try to translate that into English. I translated it into other languages, but je parle un peu de français, but we're going to stick with English right now. The city does have power to create their own traffic enforcement team. Which means something that our city of St. John's is not doing is municipal enforcement. We can put together a fleet of cars with peace officers, traffic enforcement officers, who will have the power and authority to pull people over and issue them tickets. Right now, they do issue parking tickets, but there's a lot of other types of traffic-related tickets that the city is not issuing. They have often pointed and say that's the province's job, or the province won't let us do that, or it says right there in the regulations. I'm going to move my camera and show you so you know I'm telling the truth here, folks. Whoa. Highway Traffic Act. There it is. Just for the record, so you know my source. That zoom thing is really... whoa, wrong way. So what happens when a provincial officer, an RNC or an RCMP, whoever... Well, the RCMP is actually federal. The revenues from these fines, they go to the province. The RNC issues a ticket or a fine in the city of St. John's. How much of that revenue goes to the city? Very little, perhaps none. Let's take a look at our friends down the road there, this direction about 10 kilometers, Mount Pearl. They said, wait a minute, we just read section 189, we want to create our own program. And guess what? They did. 93% of fines collected by Mount Pearl City traffic enforcement officers stays in the city. 7%, I've been told, goes from reliable source goes to the province in case the provincial crown is needed for a trial. But there's a huge opportunity here, St. John's. I used to work at the RNC. I took a lot of phone calls, complaints about traffic in the city. There is an opportunity right now for the city of St. John's to invoke this legislation, section 189, and create their own Traffic Enforcement Division. Sure, it's going to take a little bit of money up front, but it will eventually pay for itself in fine revenue. Plus, you say you take 4 new cars that are police, municipal police enforcements, peace officers that have the power and authority to patrol proactively as well as reactively deal with traffic violations, pull people over, issue fines. 1, you're going to collect more money in fines and have the revenue. 2, just having more presence of traffic enforcement officers in this city, I think, is very much needed. My personal opinion is that this city has grown substantially in the past decade, and the policing resources at the provincial and federal levels have not increased at all, which is making it more difficult to, 1, enforce the laws, and 2, to have proactive surveillance and presence in the community. So if I get elected to the city council, you vote for Jennifer McCreath at large and I get in, this is something I'm really going to push for. We can do a better job dealing with traffic problems here in our city of St. John's by setting up our own municipal enforcement team. Thank you for watching, and if you have any comments or questions, please let me know. I'd be happy to discuss this further.